good or bad. We've already been bad by virtue of saying don't park here. That's the unwelcoming part. We're just enforcing the fact that someone made a decision to ignore what the sign is put up. So, I mean, I'd like to have the conversation. I'd like to hear what you have. I'm not cutting you off, John. I want people to give us a really strong opinion here as to whether or not we can try. Remember, we can stop towing. You bring it in, and all of a sudden we find the tow truck drivers are bad-mouthing people, and it's changing. It's changing. We don't have the feedback that the Anmore residents, and we get rid of them. But it doesn't mean that it's all in forever. There's a chance to try different tools that we have available to us to try to improve the lives of residents and their guests first. There's one start.
Yeah, a couple of days ago I drove by Federal Bay and there was like 12 cars parked there, but there's no parking. I thought, wow. So I agree with Brian Hurst that they should tow them because if they're not obeying that, why are we worried about them?
That was changed last week. The sign there, because the previous recommendation was to leave a few spots by the park open for like about 10 cars, and they didn't. So the signs were changed. So on that little stretch that you saw those people this past weekend, they can't be there now.
Oh, that's okay.
Yes.
So we're allowing open parking.
Yes, it's 10, like you fit like about 10 cars there. And that was on the previous recommendation that I made, but then when I came back to my trip, I saw that they just closed everything. And that also, it really helps to leave Belfair Bay, cars going to the
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Martin, you had your hand up first.
Okay, well.
I'd just like to make a point that I'd like to see how the education piece works out with the signs before we start towing people, because I think there is this perception we are still a rural place, and I think people are used to just kind of parking. They see the signs, they don't really think it's not regulated so much. I had a worker get a ticket recently on Turtlehead Road, and he was flabbergasted. He saw the sign. He sort of parked. He thought he parked, safely and off the road, and he didn't think that he would get a ticket because we're in a rural environment, and he got the education and doesn't park there anymore. And I think there's going to be a lot of those, and I take Councillor Drake's point that once we start towing people, you got families coming to the park. We really want to wrap their whole weekend with having them to have the cab or load the kids into a bus, find the in-town lot and all the rest of it. I think people's days are quickly educated. I think they're quickly educated by kids. For the most part, there's only 2% reoccurrence of offenders. I don't know. I'd like to give it a year before we jump on towing back.
Just a comment, like when the towing, when the ticketing system was initiated, it was understood that in order not to penalize residents, there would be a kind of a pardon given in the case where a ticket was given to a resident. I'm not sure if there was any stats, did you actually cancel a lot of tickets to residents?
With warnings to residents for not for 2 months.
Over a month.
Okay. But does this occur on a frequent basis? Occasionally?
We're not in the habit of giving warnings, so there's only been a couple of rescinded tickets that are.
But I'm just thinking that in the case with a towing, there will be no pardon.
Oh, no. You're afraid that the resident will get towed?
Will get towed
because
he did not place.
Maybe tell them to not tow the ones that have the windows in color.
No, but if you forget to
I
think Lisa was not.
Thank you. And I wanted to bring up, ask you, Lorna, teacher, how many residents have actually picked up their resident echoes or not? Because that's a concern of mine, again, because the whole issuing of this, and I know the rules and everything else, and it didn't matter if you're a resident or non-resident, but the idea was not to target the resident. And it's an education thing, and I totally agree with you. Think about educating them. I'm not opposed to towing, but I still think we are so rural, and I think we just need to put a little more.
So,
I would prefer staggered ticketing.
just to add to the plan, so you can figure it clear, because we've talked about this a bit, and I don't remember if it was always in public. We wouldn't do any kind of towing, for example, without having a widespread education campaign, which included emails out to the residents, advising that towing would be coming if we were to do it.
Maybe that's all.
Exactly. So the education system would be both emails and on the website and everything else, advising people, so that they wouldn't be surprised, because we never want to ticket or tow residents. That's the whole intent here, is to create resident first parking and then resident guest parking second, and have limited parking as well. The last piece, I'm just going to do a quick add-on. Whatever you think Block 48 is worth, let's call it $50 million. We traded that just for like invaluable developer. We traded that so that people would have a 100% free public parking area to access not just the beach, Jug Island Trail, and anything else, like any of the other trails and Admiralty Point Trail and everything else down there. That's a free, government paid for, Metro Vancouver funded service, hopefully soon by transit. That's where people should be guided to go, and when that's filled, and it's easy to say we're really friendly, but the people who are suffering, it's not so prepared. You kind of have to spend the night in their house to be surrounded by it. The feedback, if you take a look in the agenda, the number of people who love Maiden Road closure, because it's decreased traffic, garbage, noise, there's a sense of the people who are impacted the most are really appreciating the additional, the ability to have the quiet life that so many of us take for granted, who are saying, no, this doesn't matter. Other points? I think Sherry was next.
I was going to bring up that subject too. I don't think we're staff residents because we're not allowing park users in and we're towing them away. The park is a bad person. They need to expand their parking. It's been the same since I've been here, 40 years. So, the park needs to provide the parking, not the dozers. And Block 48, maybe the park should be reminded why they got Block 48. And if they don't honor the contract, take it back.
And a quick reminder, you may have noticed, like in Deep Coast, not only is they're actually stopping people from being able to hike the trail.
Yeah.
Not only do they already have resident-only parking and limited lots available that are paid parking to access all their trails.
Yeah.
So you are next.
There used to be equipment towing signs around down here.
Yeah.
There sure is.
Yeah, like on Marine, and so they used to be on here. So it's kind of like reverting back to the way it was.
Maybe I could ask, sorry, please go ahead.
I just wanted to say, one of my concerns about, I think the towing has merit. Our concern is that I'm by the concrete stairs, and that's a narrow stretch of that whole road. And the other weekend, there were 10 families that came one after another to unload their canoes and kayaks. You couldn't go by them. Now, no towing company's going to get there in time to tow these guys away. Well, they take their 1 or 2 kayaks and canoes off the back of the car. Then the next family comes, and then they go and then they park. And it's so unsafe for the little children. It's just a nightmare. And that doesn't happen all the time, but it happens, whenever. 2 weeks ago, I don't remember. It was whenever one of those lovely sunny days, and decided to.
Where was that?
Down here on Marine West.
Oh, Marine West.
Yeah.
Oh, where
Right
there's
with the
already
concrete, very far that north.
Oh, yeah, and there is already full of resident-only parking.
Yeah, and they don't see the signs, and there needs to be more obviously, but that towing would have been lovely. But, these guys are there for 15 minutes, and the next car's in for 15 minutes. It's not going to help.
The towing won't come with all of them, but on a busy day, they'll be circulating, looking for that, if we were to bring it. So that resource will be here on the different days.
Yeah.
Well, maybe this is a time when I could just ask for a show of hands from the audience, just to give us an indication on council about what the makeup of these in this room is. Can I ask you to put your hands up if you think that we should enable towing to come in? And hands up if you don't want to put this on. So 15 to 3. So, what's that? So, council, this is a chance for us to what about, let me ask you this. We don't have to amend the proposal, with the understanding that we can cancel it any time anyway, so we don't need to have it amended. We can just try it, and if it's not working, then we can just remove it, correct? And if we were to try it, we can also advise, if I can make at least a soft recommendation, that we do our best to understand how much influence we have with local employment, so wherever we might go from, in advance of actually executing what might be a vote in line with this influence on this.
Do we have to change this to allow them to take it? If it's a ticket,
No.
It's automatic.
Your worship, I was just going to say, we could add for the motion, and that could put them can be granted, by law enforcement.
So this would save us from our bylaw, paying the bylaw to actually restrict the license tickets, also for vote tickets.
We could also suggest to start later in the summer, so we could enjoy a little bit more time to get used to the new month.
Well, they're gonna, yeah. So, are we ready to have a vote?
Well, don't you think that's a conflict of interest? If you're having a towing company ticket people? Or are they gonna have to say, like, taking pictures like Shay does, or?
No, they have to be able to ticket, or because they won't tow without a ticketed vehicle.
Right, so that was Shay that was ticketing, but if you're allowing the towing company to ticket, how do you know they're not on the up and up? Unless they're gonna take pictures like Shay does.
They would only, they would be using the village ticket, and we would monitor them, and they would have to take pictures like Shay does, and I believe we will still need Shay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, all the time. But they have to, produce the ticket, hand them into the office, I have to see the pictures before, I just everything. Okay. And so I get to see the ticket, the picture, and they would be under the same guidelines as our guidelines for
So I'll add one thing, I'll support this. However, I want to see signs up before the towing starts, so people have a chance people get a chance to not only have the resident email that goes around, but also the signs so people understand that it's towing municipality, so we don't surprise people and use them with no options. I'd like to see as much. I don't want to see any towing. I just want to see people not be blocking their driveway and not having registered vehicles being blocked. Good access to the narrow streets.
are they going through Anwar for years today that No, but are they going through after hours, for instance, when Shay, leaves at 4:30 or whatever, we have one night at partiers, 6:30 at 8:30, are they actually going out?
For the party thing, we can have them on standby, because we know it's going to be a busy time, and they can literally have protest waiting before people go. It's the benefit of having a rule.
We need to sign first.
I would like to see education in advance of enforcement, that's all. Jim Leffler.
Then in the future, maybe on a no parking sign, you should put the word, this is an expensive towing zone. On every no parking sign.
The 220 up.
Yes.
All right, so if I can't, let's just call this a vote, please. So, it's a tough one, all in favor?
You want to do it as an amendment though?
As amended, so including ticket, because I don't think we're going to get them to come out of this.
So if the mover, and Caroline, you were the mover, you were the seconder, if you're in agreement with the amendment that.
Yes, I am.
All right, so with the amendment that ticketing and towing, and call the vote, all in favor? Okay, so one against? Okay, feel free. You want to have that noted?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I just wanted to call Rob, it's probably
In the corner, you know what, I want to give everybody confidence that this is something that we can reverse in a second.
Yeah, back and forth.
And that I, for example, am obviously promoting the fact that we can reverse this. What I'm hoping is that we'll see very little towing, and we'll have the same kind of response, which is unexpectedly positive from the road closure, in that just having the signs up by itself will make people make the decision not to come back. So that's the intent, and we'll continue to assess my view on that. All right, thanks for your patience, everybody, and your involvement on that one. All right, so 5.3, the new website launch, Florida. Has everybody here noticed the new website? Hands up if you've seen the new website. Oh, I can't believe people haven't seen the new website. Okay, please.
I just wanted to report, your worship, that the new website is it's still a work in progress. We are making the changes in the office. Paula and I went downtown for training, and I have to admit, Paula's been doing all the updating so far. And we're really pleased with it, actually, and there is more to come. There's information that still needs to be added. We're working on it and changing the picture.
Can I have someone to look at it? Second it? Anybody? Second it? Thank you very much. Great job. Just so everybody knows, when you go, you'll see there is more content coming soon, and that will include more community involvement, both photo submissions, calendar, events, that kind of stuff. So it's up and running. Hopefully more pleasant, hopefully easier to navigate, and we're going to do that. Good. Any other questions, thoughts, ideas? You guys can move it? All right. Wonderful. All in favor? Unanimous? Bernie, drinking water quality annual report, please.
Okay, thank you, Your Worship. The recommendation is that the 2018 drinking water quality annual report be received for information. 2018 was a relatively good year. We did do some upgrades and stuff at the reservoir, which were by the recommendation of Fraser Health. So we did a lot of things there. We also played around with the altitude valve setting, and then looked at the reports, and then had to flush and adjust. So there was a learning curve a little bit with the water quality, quantity, wrestling match that we always have. So that's some of the blips that are in the report are reflected by that. Otherwise, everything was pretty good, and if you're all in agreement with the report, I will submit it to Fraser Health, and we'll be focused on it.
Right, anything to move that?
So moved.
Second? Thank you. Maybe first question for me, Bernie. Have we installed that valve that's in the name of the equipment that we approved?
No, we have not. There are a couple of issues with that. One is, when do we flush, because it also will fire up the fire pump, which the neighbors aren't going to appreciate it. Way out of place.
So if it's in, as in we don't have the right valve set system, and we get our money back?
I haven't said anything on it.
Oh.
I've done the research, I've looked at what Anmore has. I mean, it's viable, but I don't want that fire pump running all the time. So there's a few little things we got to try to sort out, or maybe change what we're going to do there.
Timeline for sorting that out, you think?
Hoping we do something this year. I mean, we do have other areas in the village that also have stagnant water, so we can easily, what I think is get a mobile one, and we can put it on those ones. And then we can move it around and see if that works. And then permanently install it.
Can you not isolate that pump? The fire pump? Like, that's triggering the fire pump.
It could, yeah, it most likely will trigger the fire pump, yes.
So is it not possible to do it once, but put a valve in there that you can shut off? So that if you ever have to do this, you can shut it off, it doesn't fire the fire pump while you're doing it?
Yeah.
Is this
maybe.
conversation time put offline?
Yeah, but yeah, Nathan, those are the kind of things I'm looking at.
All right. Great. Lovely. Bruce.
Quick question. With respect to the levels of chlorine, you said that was a bit of concern about issues of increasing our storage capacity. The cutoff level, I see you've got measurements, some of the very lowest we see is 0.07. What would be a 8-year level of chlorine?
0.
Okay. So we're still 7.
Yeah. The recommendation is at 0.2. So 0.2 is kind of where they want you to be.
As a mean over.
Yeah, and then if you're below 0.2, they want you to do something. So we're doing flushing, we're doing other things to try to create that, but it's still getting down to stagnant water.
On Main, I see, so those are dead end sites. But the vast majority are staying well over 4.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Kelly? All clear? All right. All in favor? All right, motion carried. Thank you very much. Bernie, bus stop street lighting report.
Yeah, so the recommendation is that the bus stop lighting the 2019 Transit Related Road Infrastructure Program, or TRIP, as they call it, be received for information. So, there's been talk about lighting up the bus stops. We've looked at price, it's about $200,000 and change. We've been able to, or we've applied for a 50/50 cost share with transit. They're somewhat in favor. We still don't have everything approved, but they're looking at saying, yeah, we could probably fund 2 or 3 this year with the 50/50 formula, and then the rest in the next following years. So some of the options obviously is move ahead with that, or the other one is wait for a potential 75-25 rural grant formula that's out in the works there.
I guess someone to move it before we accept it. Thank you very much. Discussion.
My understanding is that we had that $200,000 in the budget, and that it was getting fully covered by transit. That was my understanding. And now we're talking about paying money for it looks like. So what happened?
It was never 100% funded. It was always
But we always had that number in the budget, saying the whole time that we were doing the budget, we said, don't worry, everybody, we're not going to spend one time, right? Everything will be funded. And now we're talking about,
You're right. The intent was always from the start that the next funded not to do it. So the 50/50 model was always existence to bring in the one part, but then we knew that. So we were never putting $100,000 towards it. That was the So quick update. Transit is doing 75. That's confirmed. So we were actually spearheading a group that caused this new funding model where we're funding 50% more than we used to, up to 75%. That still means it's $50 grand. I'll never support that, as you guys know. We have other options which you're going to hear about on some of the transit potential services, but 50 grand for life at this point, when we have water issues, amongst others. We talked from the start, and we agreed with Carolina, that it was never going to be cash out of pocket. No, just so we're on the same page.
This is just receiving information.
Yeah, well, we got the discussion.
Yeah. Right. So with the idea still that whether it's even 75-25 or 50/50, that we're not going to be putting any cash into it, but we're still trying to find ways to get 100% funded. Everybody on the same page, you comfortable with this?
Just to be clear, if I understand correctly, I don't think it's 50. If in fact it's 75-25, you're talking 14.1 tax.
Well, the total bill is 220. So it would be 25% less. So, yeah, 55.
Okay, all good?
Rob was going to vote for
Is there a possibility Canada Post is 25%?
We're looking at all the different options. I don't think Canada Post is going to be the one. They're about to go broke. I think we're more likely to couple it in with some other big asks, because we've got some big asks happening with Metro Vancouver and Transit right now. So I'm hoping that we can. You know how when you watch the show Pickers and it's like, okay, well, I'll give you the $200, but you're going to have to throw in this and this and this. That's what we're going to try and do. Is having that into the existing project and do it all qualified.
BC Hydro used to have a program where they would put a pole up, and I think the Bonnie State there was I don't think that was a long time ago, so I don't know if that program is still in existence. Has anybody checked it out?
There is a leaf light program, which is probably what you're referring to. There's one actually just out here. When you leave, you'll get to see it. Well, hopefully not. We'll leave before it gets dark. So there is a little bit of an installation cost, and then you pay the electricity on that annual. It's about $30 a month.
I didn't know that's a great idea. Perhaps we can include that as part of your research on this, just as a takeaway.
Yeah, but you need a pole there, right? So.
Well, let's get someone to put a pole. Just so you guys are aware, whenever I'm having initial and the high level discussion, it's always about everybody paying for everything, nothing being paid for by Belterra for anything that we're doing, and it's also never about piecemeal. I'm always trying to get the whole thing done, and if we can't get it, we'll scale back the project as opposed to contribute whatever the extra money was, rather than start small and try to fight to get something in another stage and keep going back to the well. as an option. So I'm always looking for the big number to be covered first, as opposed to one at a time. So just want you to be aware that we come approaching the different negotiations. But I think it's a great point that if everything else fails, or even in the short term with a completely different entity like a BC Hydro that doesn't compromise negotiations with representative transport, maybe we get a couple things taken care of as well. Okay, so if that's good, all in favor? All right, opposed, motion carried. Thank you. Bernie, you, my friend, are going to need some water to keep us up. Verbal report for the water main armoring.
Okay, 2 years ago now, I guess, I've noticed that there was some armoring missing on the water main. I'm getting close. I've gone through permits with the ministry, with DFO, with the Port Authority. I've got environmentalists lined up. I've got an archaeologist lined up. We were planning to start last week when the tides were low. We're still waiting for one more approval. So we're going to go for the next low tide, which is after the July long weekend. Because we need the low tide during the day so the contractor has full daylight hours to work there. Hopefully done in a couple days. So we're falling behind by a month, and hopefully we'll know on the 21st that we've got our final approval.
Thanks. And move at it? Seconded? Second. Thank you very much. Okay, quick note for people who are new to this meeting. There was a 2-year window where we could actually try to litigate for design, and it has been passed. So we don't have that, what's the 7 years for anything but murder? We've exceeded what that culpability is. We've used court of law. However, we've been trying to find the contract so I can personally approach the firm and use the contract in negotiations to try to have them do the right thing. The contract has disappeared. It's not the first time we've heard this tonight. So may I ask, as a follow-up, if you can send me the contact info of what the person is from the firm who was part of that design? I'm just going to call them up, and I just want to have the contract in hand as I try to negotiate with them a degree of support financially for this failed design, please. So I want you guys to understand I'm going to try and see if I can negotiate a degree of support from them and threaten the publicity around a failed design and how it's impacting the municipality. Great.
After really, sorry to see negotiating contracts, sitting on the board. Science will, of course, build over top of soil conditions that is consultants recommended we not look at. Don't dig down, don't look at it, because you're not going to be happy with the result, and it's probably better just to leave it. But part of that process was a multi-million-dollar cost with doing some additional construction, and that's required in the original contract between the province of British Columbia and the Science World Complex, which of course was set up just for Expo 86 originally. They couldn't find a contract.
It
was established after about 9 months of doing it for the province couldn't find their copy of it.
Oh.
Anyway, they worked it out. I'm sure you'll do the same.
We'll do our best.
Yeah.
All right, so any questions? Let's keep trying to truck here. All right, everybody's up to speed. All in favor? None opposed, motion carried. Ernie, removal of abandoned improvements on 4116 Marine Ave, Fairleigh.
Yeah, the recommendation is that the abandoned gate and stairway fronting 4116 Marine Avenue be removed and that the affected lands allowed to return to their natural state. So this is not the first time this has come up to council. There's been a recent sale of the property at 4116. The property owner is aware that the stairs are not theirs. They're in very poor condition. Part of our OCT is to remove stairs down to the beach. Cost is one thing, stairs something we're trying to get away with. And we fortunately, or not, have a contractor working down the street right now, and he's offered to remove them for $1,500.
Okay, can we have some move yet? Second? Thank you. Discussion? I'll ask, is there associated liability with the condition that they're in right now?
There could be,
Understand? Everybody, there's liability associated with the condition of the stairs. Questions?
Yeah, a lot of Camp Air guys remove the stairs. I can see they couldn't install a new set because they're not that skilled, but to remove them, what do they need besides a sledgehammer?
What?
We don't have the equipment to reach down that far, Dave. they can remove them up at the top, but they go way down the slope. And so they need the proper equipment to do that. They will do as much of it themselves as they can.
So we will have our guys do it.
So is the firm cost 1,500, or is that an estimate that can be?
That is an estimate.
So it could potentially be much higher.
Or much less.
Or less.
Just a question, can the contractor pull out like one shot?
No, it's not. So he's got a long reach excavator there.
Right.
So he's gonna get down, not very far, because it's a foreshore, don't forget.
Right.
And he'll reach out with his bucket and his guys will load that up. And then he'll put it into a demo truck and drive it away. We don't have an excavator to load the demo truck.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a big load there. They're also gonna take the old rotten canoe and boats and whatever else is down there as well.
I will add that, our deductible is 2,500, so the 1,500 is less than the deductible, so I'm going to differ. Any other questions before we vote?
This regards because we've been looking at, underbrush removal and whatnot to do with fire, or is that all parts in that also? If they're pulling stuff out, can they get rid of it?
They're gonna take a load of wood away. That's what they're targeting. And the boats are extra, so.
All right.
Oh, on top of the 1,500.
No, they're part of it, but it's something extra we're getting.
All right. All in favor? None opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. So 6, this is the TransLink municipal proposal. There are people here who I don't think have heard this before. So in a really quick nutshell, we had TransLink here today. The intent was to see if we could work with TransLink to provide a better municipal transit service than is currently being provided by TransLink. Now, the gist behind this is we lost our school bus about 5 years ago, so kids don't have a school bus to go back and forth to the Anmore school. So there's no service for that. Rush hour is about 20 minutes between the actual bus times that they go through, and it is about 35 minutes for the kids to take a bus right now to Anmore Elementary. In other words, to Eagle Middle, if you want to get there for 8:45 start, you have to leave at 7:32 in the morning. So as a result, no one's using the bus. 90 Compass cards in Belcarra, 80% of all rides that are being any kind of transit passing through Belcarra of any kind, 80% is non-resident use, using their Compass card tracking system. They have confidence in it. We've got the report on it. So what I took a look at is seeing if there was another option that could provide better level of service for no extra money. And it's an Aero car from the airport. It's professional limousine drivers, Class 4 licenses, and they would provide us a Sprinter passenger van or a 70 buses required for volume. They would do 2 to 3 runs for going to school, 2 to 3 runs for going back, and have dispatch, just like a taxi system, to be able to take all the residents down to the Port Moody Iokolands bus stop to get direct action into the Port Moody Inlet or to Moody Center or into the other services. So no longer having to go through Anmore, so that the timing becomes much, much faster, and it would be 100% free funded by TransLink. All right, so questions? Please.
I have so we would have one card. Right now we have 2.
We have as many cards as we can.
Okay, because right now we have 2 buses going in the morning, right?
Every 20
so we would
minutes.
we have a potential of having more than 1 card then.
We would have infinitely scalable as required.
Okay. In case that doesn't work, we go back to our old bus.
That's the reason why we have TransLink doing it with us.
Okay. And I would like to point out that before we take the steps to make it happen, we do need the public hearings on it, right? Like we need as much feedback as we can. And I'm not talking about town hall meetings. I think it's good to have the staff here and have the public hearing.
Anything else?
Yeah, I would reinforce that on the graphic. Sorry, you're saying how many people are using the bus that aren't that for
80%.
80% of the users of the bus, they're non-resident. Right? Okay, so I think that's assuming that not all of them have the park. I don't know, but that's why I think we need, because I have heard just ad hoc from people saying we do have au pairs coming based on that service, so we have to figure out people that do directly or indirectly use non-residents right anywhere they use the buses.
So just as a quick answer to that, House has a code, au pairs use the House code. Bus is already gonna run all the way down to Belcarra Park anyway, and the new stop added is Woodhaven Swamp. More access for existing visitors to the park, but not using our roads, and